Hey, DeAndre, I'm Mike Trudell with the Lakers Inspector Sportsnet. Welcome back to LA.
Yes, sir.
I know you spent 9 years here with the Clippers, but just wondering, DeAndre, if you had any initial inclinations about like how you fit into this team, if you talked about anything with Coach Vogel and just some of the teammates that you now have, guys that you've gone against for so many years, how you think you fit into that mix.
First of all, I'm extremely excited. I want to thank everybody for this opportunity. I think that my role for any team that I'm on pretty much stays the same. I'm coming in to defend the basketball, try to change shots and alter shots at the rim, rebound the basketball, get my teammates open as best as possible, and keep possessions alive for us, and be a great force on both ends of the basketball floor, and be a great locker room guy. And that's pretty much been my niche and my my thing that I bring to every team that I'm on. And I'm excited to get here and get to work with these guys, and being able to have multiple lob threats now again with this team is going to be great, especially with the playmakers that we have and the unselfish guys that we have on this team. Is going to be great. And it gets to be able to space the floor a little bit with guys playing in the dunker and having, like I said, multiple playmakers and shooters spaced. So I think at times, we're going to play big. I think at times we're going to play small. It's obviously whatever the game is needing at that moment in time. We're going to be able to adjust to that because we're so versatile.
And DeAndre, just to follow up on that, about Russ and LeBron specifically, all of the momentum that they create towards the rim, how does playing like that appeal to somebody like you?
For me, it's great. Those guys being able to have such speed and strength, being able to get downhill so quickly, it puts a lot of pressure on defenses. And, when you're big playing in that dunker area, you kind of find where you'll be open, whether it's a shuffle pass, whether it's a lob. And like I said, those guys are so great at finding the open man and making the defenses pay for coverages and schemes that they may come up with is going to be great. And I just need to be ready to catch the basketball or catch a lob or screen in for a shooter. But when you have that many threats on one team, I think that it's going to be very beneficial to us.
All right, we'll go over to Dan, please.
Hey Jay, what's up, man? Good to see you.
What's up, Dan?
I know, right? It's like 2011. You had opportunities with the Clippers to win titles. You had an opportunity last year. How have those opportunities not coming to fruition kind of shaped your approach to the game over time? And I guess, what do you think of the opportunity you have in front of you this year with this group?
I think the opportunity is the same. But I do think, and the way that I approach the game is the same. Obviously, as you get older and you start to see different things, and obviously with the Clippers teams, we had some bad luck. On the team I was on last year, we had a little bad luck with injuries and some small things like that. But you never want to take it for granted. You want to come in and do everything you can to try to stay as healthy as you possibly can, and learn from the game before, but not harp on it as much. Move on to the next thing, because it is a long season. You kind of got to have a quick memory, but be able to adjust as much as possible. And I'm excited to be able to be here and gel with these guys and build chemistry. And it's gonna be a process, but I think we're all ready and excited for it.
Welcome back, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, over to Dave McMenamin, please.
Hey, DeAndre, good to see you. Dave
What's up,
McMahon
Dave?
with ESPN. It was widely reported when you went to Brooklyn that a big factor in that career move was the relationship you shared with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So how do you reflect on your time in Brooklyn, and where do things stand with your relationship with those former teammates?
We're definitely not friends anymore. So, no, I'm joking. We're friends before basketball, after basketball, and I think ultimately we all just want to be happy. And being able to compete is something that is very important to me, and they understand that. And we're brothers beyond basketball. So us being teammates or not isn't going to reflect or affect our relationship. I did have a great time in Brooklyn the 2 years that I was there, being able to experience that culture in New York. My family being able to experience that culture in New York, and being able to live in that city and play for that team was awesome. And I have a ton of memories, for the 2 years that I was there, and I won't forget those. But I'm definitely excited to start this next chapter.
All right, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey DeAndre, Kyle Goon with Orange County Register. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Just maybe a sort of a follow-up to Dave's question, but is it kind of weird to? I mean, the Lakers and the Nets have been kind of peering at each other from across the coast. Sort of, a lot of people are talking about them as a lot of people describe them as the favorites for the finals last year. I think they're still favorites for the finals this year. What's it like switching sides in that sort of cold war between those two teams?
I think it's just basketball, man. Like I said, you have a lot of friends in this league. You have a lot of guys that you compete against. And when you're on the floor, this is somebody who you want to beat, regardless of if they're your friend or not. But off the floor, those relationships and those bonds will stay strong. But I think that I'm just excited to be a part of a team that's chasing the championship. Just like I'm sure there are another handful of teams that are doing the same thing. But just to be able to be with a team like this with guys that you respect and guys that you've competed against for the past, going into my 14th season has been great. And seeing, I wonder what it would be like to play with this guy. And you always think about that, whether you tell people or not. And now being able to have the opportunity, I think is going to be great.
All right, Bill Oram, please.
Hey DeAndre, Bill Orm with The Athletic. I guess I just have to ask, so what guy, is it obvious? I mean, you said you're thinking maybe you've always wanted to play with this guy or that guy. Who are the guys on this team maybe that you've been thinking about that with throughout your career?
Obviously, as a big, when I was in high school, like a guy that I watched all the time was Dwight Howard. And obviously we never had a chance to be teammates before, but competed against him a ton when he was in Orlando and, a couple other teams, and it's been great. So being able to see him and now we're teammates is awesome. Obviously, guys like LeBron and Russ and AD being able to be opponents of these guys for so long, and especially Russ and AD in the Western Conference when we were there for so long, seeing those guys 3-4 times a year. Russ coming downhill, angrily aggressive every time was very tough. And now being able to be like, okay, well, now I can see what this would be like to be a teammate with this guy, and knowing I don't have to contest him at the rim, every night, because he's just that fierce of a competitor. He keeps going. And AD the same way. His skill set is so very high, and he can score on the 3 different planes of the basketball floor, and with that, being able to be a great defender is great. So being able to have that next to you is awesome. And LeBron has been a winner in this league for a long time, and being able to orchestrate offenses and defenses, being a team leader out there, somebody who is been a leader and a winner throughout his career is great. And now being able to be a teammate and of somebody with that high of basketball IQ and an unselfish player like that, I'm really excited to finally be teammates with these guys.
All right, we'll do last 2 questions. We'll start with Ian, please.
Ian.
Hey, DeAndre. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, just with the Nets at the end, did you guys just basically say, hey, let's figure something out where I can get somewhere else? Like, how does that work out when you leave in the middle of the contract?
I think it was just both parties wanting to figure out something that was best for both of us, and I feel like they gave me that respect as a veteran player to be able to understand that I wanted to be able to compete. And I'm a competitor, man, and we all are in this league, and we want to be able to be out there and competing, but also it just worked better for both of us. And I think that I'm excited to be a part of this Laker franchise and this organization with these group of guys, and I'm focused on here. So.
All right, and we'll end with a follow-up from Dan, please.
AJ, you experienced life in this city as a Clipper for a decade, I think. What do you think life will be like in Los Angeles as a Laker? Do you think it'll be different in the way that you're kind of treated around town?
I think I was treated pretty fairly and pretty good when I was a Clipper for 10 years. But obviously, you know, this is a big sports town, and a lot of the fans are Laker fans. And even when I was a Clipper, we understood that. I had great years when I was with the Clippers, and you know, that franchise was amazing to me, and I appreciate the time that I was there for sure. But like I said, I'm focused on now and this team and what our goals are ultimately and what we want to do. And I'm just really excited to be here. This is a great opportunity for me, and I just want to take full advantage of it.